Hello and welcome to this video. Today we will be working on some simple technique for rust that will give us some great effects. This miniature is all painted up, but we will of course be working on some miniatures that are not painted. So let's get started. I will not be showing all the intermediate steps because they're not really needed. You won't teach us much about doing rust. But I've got a blood crusher here, which I have primed with an AK Interactive rust primer. I will of course be putting all the paints in the description of the video, so we don't need to pause it and take that now. And once the primer is dry, I have put Typhus Corrosion on from Citadel, only to make some more texture for the rust to take effect in the next steps. Then let's move along. Then I airbrushed some metal colors on it from a very heavy zenithal, doing maybe 45 degrees first and then a lighter, more reflective chrome until we hit around 90 degrees. So we still keep some dark areas in the bottom for the shadow later on. It will give a great effect. And then in the next step, I simply painted in the colors that I wanted to be not affected as much by the rust. In this case it is bronze or brass, which the paint is called. I will put the colors in the description as I told earlier. And then at this stage we are ready to put some rust on. And it's super easy and super fast and will give you some great results. What I will be using is another AK product. It's called Crusted Rust Deposits. It's an enamel paint. So what we will be doing is putting layers on it, and once it has been drying for maybe 30 minutes, we will be taking paint off again to create the effects that we want. So let's get going. Again, if you're doing more than a tiny area, please use a respiratory system because of the solvents in this. It's highly toxic for your respiratory system. I don't use one today because I'm making a video, but if I wasn't making a video, I would be using my respiratory system, a mask for this, because it's not very comfortable. And don't be afraid to get too much on, because we can always remove. You don't have to be all that careful, except not heating the painted areas, the brassy areas, because we don't want that. But if you do hit them, then don't worry, you can just remove it later. There we go, this is the first part of the miniature. Of course we will just do all of it at once, but you don't have to watch me sitting here for 10 minutes covering it up. So we take the next one in line. It's called, the first one was called dark rust and this one is called medium rust. And then you go over the same area again, but this time don't cover it all up. Just do a sporadic, where you think, where you have an idea that other rust formations would create itself. Again, maybe only do 40% or something of the surface area. And then get rid of the excess, and then take the third and final one. AK produces a lot more of these in many different colors. So if you want a super detailed or super varied, you can do as many of the variants as you want. And this one is super bright, so try not to overdo it. See, I might have been putting on too much here, but it doesn't really matter, because once it's dried a bit, we'll just remove whatever we don't want. And there we go. This is how it looks right now. Very reflective. I will just do the rest of the model and leave it to dry for around 30 minutes, and then we will come back. See you then. Hello and welcome back. Now the blood crusher is dry, at least to the touch. It's not remotely fully hardened yet. It will take a long time. Days actually, but it doesn't matter for what we have to do now. You can see now he looks a bit clumpy. So now we will just take an old worn brush. This is just a small dry brush from Citadel. It's really worn. Make sure that the bristle is not too soft, but not too stiff either, because you might hurt the paint. So now we will just be brushing off the excess that we don't want. And again, be careful if you don't do it too much, because you will just rip all of the rust off. It doesn't matter if you just put on new rust, but there's no point in doing the same work twice. You see it comes off pretty easily, because so far it's not really hardened. It's just a solvent that has the dry off, evaporated. So now we just go over the miniature. We won't be doing all of it here, because it's just a little time consuming. There's no point in showing you the entire miniature. This technique is very easy. This is more or less it. And again, if you take it off, put more on. I will post some finished shot of the miniature once I've brushed off what I feel is necessary. If you don't want to brush anything off at all, you don't have to. You can just leave it as is, or do a stippling motion. Sort of blend the transitions together. And other than that, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, I hope you will like and subscribe to the video on the channel. If you want to see other videos and other techniques, you're always welcome to ask, and I'll see what I can do. Other than that, I hope I see you in the next video. Bye for now.